All right, we are back at it. We are on day 2 of our FETC preview with all of our speakers and presenters coming on, sharing their session, sharing their work, getting a chance for you to meet our speakers before they have the opportunity to meet you in person, hear a little bit about what they're going to present. This is number 2. We're going to be up to 10 soon, and before you know it, we're going to be in Orlando live for 2 days on the show floor. And I can't be in Orlando solo anymore. I tried that last year, but this year, just like we did in ISTE, I have Rob from Tech back with me. We are going to be co-hosting the Stronger Together podcast in Orlando. Rob, welcome back.
Matt, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm looking so forward to this. ISTE was a great experience doing a live podcast with you out on the floor, and I'm looking forward to doing it again in Orlando.
Yeah, and you never know what could happen. We ate, crickets. We did all sorts of people, students from Australia came over. Just things happen when you go live on the floor, surrounded by people, and we have a lot of fun with it. And for those who don't know about Tech, you will be there for FETC. Tell us a little bit about Tech, who will be sponsoring tonight's interview and all of the interviews at Orlando.
So here at Tech, we're a technology education company. We believe in the entire solution. So we don't want to just sell you products because you can buy them anywhere. We want to help you plan out what you need, sell you some products, give you some curriculum, bring you the support that you need to go along with it, help you integrate it into your curriculum, and make sure that in the end, the kids are the ones who come out ahead.
Awesome. And they come out ahead from the solutions that you provide. In bringing Stronger Together, we have strong district leaders, and I'm excited to welcome in Glenn Robbins from New Jersey, correct?
That's correct. Thank you.
All right, and actually, you're going to be stuck with me as we kick off the administrator track on Wednesday morning. So for those out there, besides now seeing that you have the coolest background, which is real, which I just learned, tell us a little bit about what you do in your real world job.
So my real world job, I am the Chief Energy Officer. I have to bring it each and every day for our amazing school district in Brigantine, New Jersey. For those who are not familiar where Brigantine is, if you look at Atlantic City, we are just north. So yes, I have the luxury of working 3 blocks from the beach and 2 streets over from a golf course, and they're working in an amazing shore town with amazing people. So I'm blessed in that regard with the K-8 district. And there I shared dual positions. I'm superintendent, and then about 2 years ago, I took over the principal role as well. So most people were jumping out of this crazy world. I said, you know what, let's take on more. And sure enough, great things are happening because I'm surrounded by so many great people in our amazing district.
Yeah, so if you want to hear about all the craziness that happens as a superintendent and principal, make sure to check out Glenn's social media. They'll be scrolling down the bottom throughout, and his website will be coming up through. So how did it end up where you were both the superintendent and the principal? How does that happen?
Yeah. So great question.
You can share, first of all, as a school leader myself, I get like, maybe I stepped in something.
So I took the position in February of 2020, and the world shut down in March 2020. So I got so I used that to my advantage. I got to know my people a lot better than most people would, because I actually was talking to them through phone calls and Zooms and going through the same process while we were all in lockdown. And I had a tremendous administrative staff, but your goal is always to make sure or hope that your administrative staff moves on to something bigger and better one day, right? That's your goal as a leader. So the principal jumped on to an opportunity that she saw to become a superintendent elsewhere, supported her through that process, and then went to the board and said, hey, here's what's going on. We have 2 options. We can put out a flyer that says, we need a principal, or you could make me both. It's up to you. It's up to you to decide. I've done the role before, very successful at it. And you make a choice. So the board decided to say, hey, you know what? Can you do both? And the rest is history ever since then. So we're coming up on 4 years in the district total come this upcoming February. So, and it's been, for COVID years, I think it feels like 18 or 19, but I wouldn't trade it. I'm so absolutely blessed where I'm at right now in Brigantine, New Jersey.
Awesome. Well, the last 2 years have definitely been some of accomplishment with winning the New Jersey Visionary Superintendent Award and the Northeast Innovative Superintendent Award, both in 2022 and then last year, or 2023, whenever that was in the calendar, the National Exemplar of Educational award, and then you start off 2024 here at FETC. So congratulations for all of those accolades. And your presentations were so long, we had to have 2 PDFs. So the first thing I'm going to your Wednesday, first day that I saw that you're there presenting. You might be there earlier. You're with me at 8 o'clock as our campus leader as we continue. We kick off that morning, and then you have 2 sessions. What is your district's calling card? Bringing the answer, and then Mr. Rogers Community Project, Chamber of Commerce, and Scholar. So all of that's happening Wednesday for everyone looking through the large agenda on FETC. Tell us what they will get from those sessions.
Yeah, so great question. And yeah, I guess that's the excitement when you get asked to be a featured speaker. You say, all right, I will bring it all for as much as I can to help out FETC and all.
You sign that contract, and then they're like, "Oh, and you're going to work straight for 3 days." That was my
That's
first
fine.
time. Like,
That's
okay.
fine. I'm all in. I'm all in because it's an opportunity to make hopefully the world better for other
It's
people.
an awesome
if I
event.
can
Yeah.
take something back. So for the district calling card, I was asked by Ellen Belstock, I think the friend of yours up in the Massachusetts area, to join in with her and Chad Stevens, talk about branding. And if it was
Amazing.
I know it's cliche. I know it's something we've been talking about, Matt, since you and I got into this field many years ago. You have to brand. But if you're not branding now in 2024, something's severely wrong because somebody else is branding all the wrong things for you in social media or this world that we reside in right now, that you have to be the chief storyteller for your district, for your building, for your classroom at all times. So I'm really looking forward to that discussion with that group. And then the Mr. Rogers project, kind of sad, but we do this with the 8th grade kids. And we say, do you know who Mr. Rogers is? And not one kid knows who Mr. Rogers
Yeah, that
is
is
anymore.
a little sad.
So, hits home, makes you feel a little older. But the beauty of this project, Matt, we started right after as the COVID lockdown started to end. I really wanted to bring the Chamber of Commerce and get the kids involved somehow, some way with our local businesses to try to reawaken the world. And teamed up with the Chamber, and they said, all right, how about we come to you? Well, you can work with us on social media. You can help us build an Instagram page and Facebook page. And then also, if you could do Canva, which our teacher was incredible at, do Canva, put something on the doorway so that when people come in to a QR code, they can scan it and go right to their website right away. Now, here's the beauty of it. It's small town USA. It's not the mega conglomerates. We're not talking the mega stores you can think of. We're talking about hardworking people who have a business that are, busting their hump each day. And the best part about this is the kids get to know a little more about their community. The business people get to present. It's not all roses and working and being an entrepreneur. And at the same time, we're teaching social media and we're making more ambassadors for our community. So we now have this project been underway for 2 years now. It was just 2 marking periods. Now it's 4 marking periods. And we have a waiting list. In order to become part of this, the Chamber of Commerce, you have to pay into the top tier to be one of their businesses. And we have a waiting list of individuals to get onto this, to work with our kids for social media. So it is an amazing project, and I can't wait to share the ins and outs of that.
Well, it's great to see you representing the mom and pops because the bigger stores are pushing so many of the smaller businesses out. And after COVID, seeing all the closed up businesses, it's really heart wrenching. So this is really such an important project. So kudos for doing that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
And as we said earlier, when you are a featured speaker that you are and an award winner, you're not going to get out of just doing 3 sessions. You have a whole nother 2 days. You have Thursday and Friday. I definitely want to hear about this leading like Ted Lasso and a Roy
I'm curious
Kent world,
myself.
as well as rethinking all learning spaces, engaging all students, esports. Mentally exhausted. I'm mentally exhausted reading through the amount that you're going to be doing here. So for those, again, looking through the next 2 days, share a little bit about the sessions that you're going to present on Thursday and Friday.
Right. So Ted Lasso, I think that helped a lot of us get through the thick of the pandemic, right? We were beaten down. I personally could not wait till every Friday for the release of the next show to see what was going to happen because it helped guide me, helped me centered a little bit and working with human beings and human capital that we do every day. And let's be frank and honest right now. The majority of the world against education is almost like Roy Kentish.
Yeah,
it's vulgar. It is strong. How many people, I hate to ask this question, but how many people do you know that were successful and incredible leaders in school districts who are no longer in those positions because of situations that have arose in their communities and so forth? So we've lost a lot of great people. over the past year and a half. It's kind of sad. Some have moved on to consulting, some have moved on to new districts, some have just retired and said, I'm done.
Yeah,
and to hear the war stories, it's heart wrenching. So, so part of me is being Ted Lasso is almost like, you got to put on a show every day. Like I said earlier, you're the chief energy officer. If you follow me on social media, I got a wacky suit or outfit for almost every holiday there is. I'm the guy that puts on a crazy suit. I'll dress up as Ted Lasso when I'm covering a gym class. The kids look at me all funny and so forth. But like I said, you have to be that leader that can continue to have a mindset that you want to bring out the better in other individuals while the world is pushing down against you, cursing at you and everything else. And it's not perfect. Ted Lasso talked about, he dealt with a lot of anxiety. He dealt with a lot of depression and stress. I can assure you, I am speaking to so many people right now about that are witnessing or feeling the same thing. So there's a lot of ways of going about that. I want to talk about mental health, and that's the ultimate purpose of that, is the mental health purpose for yourself, for your family, for your teachers, for your scholars, and so forth. So that's the Ted Lasso one. And no, I will not grow a mustache before that session. I'll tell you that right now.
No, bummer. You gotta have a fake one, maybe.
Rethinking strategies for designing of the spaces and so forth. This one I'm really proud about. These are the ones that really caught the attention of so many people from across the country. We showcase a lot of our spaces. We've redesigned classrooms, arenas, commons, which used to be a library. And we used it through a designer. We use it through articulation of our scholars, picking out what they wanted in the room. We use it for the staff, picking it out. And the best part is when this new stuff comes in, it's a new design. It's all intentional. And it's kind of tough to do at a building that's a pre-K to 8.
I'm sure.
So I can't just buy all big kid furniture or indoor little kid furniture. I have to have it diversified. And I have to make sure that it is equitable to all my students in that room as well. So they helped out pick. And then we expanded. We redid our cafeteria. Our cafeteria looks like a college campus the way it looks with the furniture in there. We built an esports arena, for
That's
grades
cool.
4 to 8. How many people can say they actually built a true esports arena? I'm not talking about we got a couple of Chromebooks and we just painted the wall and, we put the kids in a corner room because that was open. No, we devoted 100%. It's like building a brand new sports program. We want to build that field for them. And it's open to all kids of ages of 4th to 8th grade. And doesn't matter who you are, what you are, as long as you can game, you're in that room.
Nice.
So we'll talk about that. We talked about all the desks are writable, all the windows are being written on, how we work with the chamber, how we work with going to the beach. Every aspect of what we do is a classroom everywhere we're working. And I'm excited about that. Matt, you'll appreciate this, something we're working on right now. We have podcasting going on.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
We have 6th graders, 7th graders, and 8th grade teams. So we're now doing it like an ungraded period. And I can talk about the schedule as well, redesigning that into podcasting. And these kids are putting out tremendous things. The 6th graders are talking about new video games and new movies. The 7th grade girls, I'm super stoked about this. The 7th grade girls are doing Powered Up podcast. And that is women empowerment and helping young girls and helping female adult leaders to be better human beings. They talk about mean girls. They talk about imposter syndrome. They've already been interviewing a couple of friends of ours. They're going to get interviewed in the months ahead. They already have an extensive schedule. I almost feel like a manager for them.
Sure.
We have the Play-by-Play podcast, which is 3 boys who are talking about the Eagles. We're down in Eagle country for Philadelphia Eagles. They have a lot to talk about right now. Not all good.
I would say hopefully talk about a win, right?
I hope so. But these kids, I sit and talk with the ELA teachers. And I'm like, how proud are you? You're talking about the storyboarding. You're talking about the conversations like we are right now. We're respecting each other's space before we talk. To do that with 8th graders, it's pretty impressive that they're not talking over each other and they're knowledgeable and researching. So they're excited. They have a local Super Bowl champion in our town. They're going to be interviewing him very shortly. They've already started making swag as well. And then we have a couple other podcasts. And then something really cool that I found out today, the 2nd graders got jealous. So the 2nd graders started podcasting now too. So I can't wait for that to come out too. So we'll be building a brand new podcasting room next year. And I'm not just talking a room with some equipment, Matt. I'm talking stuff that we've actually, Rob reached out to tech and said, hey, come on down.
Nice. Look at that. It all comes together.
We already had that conversation. And I want to build something that goes, whoa. when you walk into that room. And I think that's the best part about all these spaces. These kids want to be in the school. The staff want to come to school. And what we've seen academic-wise is transformational. First time in over 20 plus years that our school district is now high performing. First time in many years that our test scores are going up. And I'm not a big test score guy by any means, because I think of the whole child in itself, but something is working, and it's the intentionality that's spacing behind it. So I'm going to talk about all that. Yes, in 45 minutes. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but a lot of coffee and
that's
jam
impressive.
it out. So, where else we got? The esports. I mentioned that, and that's going to be on a panel with a couple of amazing people, Katrina, Jahan, Chris Turner, and myself, and talking about esports, talking about what it means to the kid today, what it means for their futures ahead, all the implications that what can come out of that, and also how to build something. I get a lot of questions all the time. How do you build a space? Well, you have to ask deeper questions than that, before you can even do so. It's not all about just a shiny thing, the brand new toy. You have to have infrastructure. You have to have buy-in. You have to have purpose. You have to have so much more that goes in behind the scenes before you can even build something at that route you want to go.
Nice.
So I'm really looking forward to that one. And then lastly, is the Stoic one, the mentally exhausted Stoic strategies for school leaders. I think if anything, during my leadership time throughout the years of rising up through the ranks and so forth, I guess maybe getting older or whatever it may be, or reading, I read, as you can see behind me, an extensive amount. I love Stoicism. I love leadership books. I love anything that talks about how to be calm, cool, and collective when the world is upside down and left and right, or people are angry at you. I think they just recently said in the Forbes magazine, the number one most desirable trait for leadership right now is someone who's calm. I'm not telling push all your emotions aside, but to be stoic about that. And I'm going to tie some AI into that. I'm going to tie into AI, how you can build your own journals, how you can build, your own tweets and so forth, and how you can have like a coach to yourself, almost like a Marcus Aurelius as a mentor and so forth. So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Wow. So that sounds like a busy couple of days, but very exciting. I have a question for you though. If you manage to get any downtime at all, anything you're excited about or interested in checking out while you're there personally?
That's a great question. I'm looking forward to walking the floor. I want to see all the latest and new things that are out from all the vendors, hopefully make some strategic partnerships with some vendors, not just make it a vendor, but a thought partner of some sort. And I'm looking forward to meeting and seeing friends that I've known for many years that I haven't seen in many years. I'm looking forward to conversations, to learning from them. There's a lot of great leaders coming to this conference, and I want to hear about their successes, their struggles, and how we maybe can help each other out. So, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing some nice weather down there too, to be honest.
Yeah, that would be good.
Especially after what I hear is coming this weekend up in the Northeast. So,
well, for you guys, you might get in more. We're just getting rain down here. So.
All right, rub it in.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to touch on that you had said, just tell me a little bit about this.
Yep. There's a suit, right?
What do we got going on here?
That's
Is that
Pac-Man,
Pac-Man?
right? That is Pac-Man. And the cool thing about that is the young kids do know who Pac-Man is.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
So, in all honesty, I wore that suit the first day of school this year.
Okay.
And people were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it was the intentionality of it that I knew some kids and some staff were anxious, and parents. But when someone comes walking up to them in a Pac-Man suit, it kind of calms them down for a minute. It totally takes their mind off of what they had that anxious moment for. And that was my intentionality for it. So all these wacky suits that I have, there's a purpose behind that, to make them smile, to bring out the inner child of our staff members and our kids. If it makes them smile for a minute and takes their mind off something bad, then I did my job.
Nice. So make sure to check out all these crazy suits, all the work blends. Twitter handle or X handle is down below. Check that out. We'll also put the website up, scrolling across the bottom. But I do have one question before Rob asks our last question. Tell us a little bit about Calm in the Chaos.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. My co-author, Danny Bauer, and I, the book is finished. It will hopefully be published, or to print, I should say, in February, mid-February. So we're excited about getting that out. And as I mentioned earlier about one of the presentations with the Stoicism, we're going to talk about how you can relate Stoicism to so many different parts of being a school leader. It's not just a superintendent. It's from being any type of a school leader, and using the ancient words to help them guide through. It's also gives some really personable stories that Danny and I shared in there about some of the hardships that we had to go through, some of the tough decisions that we went through. And then we also have at the end each one a practice of some sort. So your teams can sit down and actually have a conversation. So I think that's the part. I've been an administrator for almost close to 20 years now. I started at a very young age at 27 being an assistant principal. I've seen a lot of different things. So if I can share those expertise and have those people having those conversations, and as well as trying to keep calm, cool, and collective, hopefully that will help and have those, intentional conversations that they really need to have. Because as we talk about it, a lot of leaders have left and we have a lot of leaders rising up. Do they have the right mentors? This book will give them, Epictetus and Marcus and Seneca and Cato as a mentor in some way, with Danny and I trying to lead the way. And we're not stoic philosophers by any chance. We're putting that out there. We're not Ryan Holiday. We are not Robert Greene. We are not those individuals, but we're individuals who are trying to help you to adapt for the better and being calm, cool, and collective in today's world. And that's why we like that cover too. Everybody yelling, because it's a very loud world we live in right now.
Yes, it
Matt, I'll
is.
have to get your picture next time, a Rob picture on there.
Glenn, I got to tell you, it was an absolute pleasure having you on here. And I really look forward. What I'd like to do is come on down and check out your esports and your podcast rooms and see what the programs are like. So I'm going to touch base with you on that. But unfortunately, our time is coming to a close. And Matt is gracious enough to let me ask the final question of the podcast. Okay. So my question for you, a very simple one, but a very powerful one. When you hear Stronger Together, what does that mean to you?
Stronger Together. What I see is you, as Matt mentioned, all those successes earlier that I've been blessed to have. That's not just me. That's my entire team. That's my staff. That's my board. That's my community. That's our kids. That's our council. That's our mayor. Like, we are only as good when we work together. And I think that's something I really try to take pride in. I put the ego to the side. Guys, I don't care what suit I'm wearing. If it makes someone smile, I don't need a power suit on that most leaders think they need to have. So I think working together, regardless of who you are, regardless of your background, regardless of your political stance, whatever it may be, your goal is to better the world for the kids. And if we can work together to do that, that's a win. And that's where the successes really start to come out.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. I know it's your first time. Make sure when you're down in Orlando to stop by the podcast booth. We can grab a photo with all of us together.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you tuning in tonight or watching this after the fact, or going to be down at FETC and watch this on the flight down and see all the great things that Glenn is bringing, check out his information online. His website's there. You can contact him, see all the great things that he is doing. It was a pleasure to have you on. We look forward to seeing you in Orlando, and you and I actually going to be kicking off the administrator track Wednesday at 8:00. So that'll be a lot of fun. So Rob, we'll see you soon. We're going to continue these podcasts all the way up to we get to Orlando, so you can hear from more presenters, hear about more sessions, and then you'll see them live in person as we go live from the show floor in Orlando. So for all of you tuning in, remember, we are stronger together. And Rob, we'll see you soon. Glenn, we'll see you in Orlando. Thank you, everybody.
Take it easy, guys.
Thank you.